It's Monday, and raise your hand if you're still absolutely sick that you missed out on a plus 827 same-game parlay because of a single Evan Rodriguez shot. That's me. Thank you very much, Miss Lippi. Are we going to do that again? Are we going to get greedy like that again? We could have just done the Bennett assist with the Rodriguez point. That was plus 500 right there. But no, around here, I'm greedy just like the rest of you, and we'll probably take another crack at something like that by the end of this video. As far as Game 1 went, just like most of these Stanley Cup playoffs, you go to shake a guy's hand here, and then you get a handshake over there. You look up, it's down. It's like, one of those airplanes in a video game where if you want to go up, you got to steer down. And the Edmonton Oilers, most people thought they were going to get outplayed. They were going to get overmatched. They were going to be hitting every single corner. They're going to be overwhelmed. It was going to be a win for Florida. It ended up being a win for Florida, but it was a game where Florida clearly got outplayed, and Bobrovsky saved multiple breakaways. The Oilers' power play, they got unbelievable chances and weren't able to just kind of put one in. The final score was 3-0 Panthers, but in all honesty, that was a game that could have easily went over, and I'm not going to let the final score kind of steer me away from taking certain overs, whether it's player props or totals, because that game didn't look like it was some defensive game where nothing was going on. There was just chances missed, and Bobrovsky made a ton of saves. So I will be looking to take a couple player props on this Game 2 slate. And I guess we can start right there. The Edmonton Oilers, they didn't score a single goal despite, I think their expected goals were over 4. If you looked at the expected goals, I think Florida had 1 and Edmonton had 4. And they weren't able to cash in. So you have a team who's trailing 1-0 in the series. And if they lose this game 2, they have to win 4 out of 5 games to win the Stanley Cup. And that just sounds like a daunting task against a team like Florida, who barely lost twice in a row once, let alone needing to beat them 4 out of 5. So Edmonton kind of needs to win this game, and I imagine they will have their foot on the gas once again, because there is no reason for Florida to change a lot, because you can say they were outplayed. You know what they can say? We were up early and we were never really threatened and we shut them out. So I don't know if this is a sucker bet, but I see those saves for Sergei Bobrovsky, and you're going to have a team in Edmonton who hasn't scored yet in the series. They will be trying to fire pucks to the net and try to create some ruckus in front of a goalie like Bobrovsky to get a cheap rebound or something like that. I don't think they're going to be that selective when they're staring down a potential 0-2 hole in this series, and we're getting a similar save total for Bobrovsky. So I'm going to take the over there and trust that Edmonton is going to be pretty desperate and get a bunch of shots towards him once again. They were not shy whatsoever. All their stars from Bouchard, Draisaitl, McDavid, Hyman, so many of them shot, except for Nugent-Hopkins, who didn't clear that 2.5 for anybody who was able to take that on Bet Rivers. So I'm going to take the over on saves for him, and then Leon Draisaitl, 2.5 shots on goal. Remember, he was set at 3.5 at the beginning of these playoffs. And now, when he could potentially be playing the majority of the game on that top line with McDavid and Hyman, so you can be getting set up by McDavid, because that's what happened for the majority of that last game. They ditched Nugent-Hopkins immediately. Now, we don't know how the game's going to start, but if the first period has gone by and they haven't scored a goal, I'll bet you'll see Draisaitl on that top line before you know it. So 2.5 shots on goal for Draisaitl in this game against Florida, where I think they're going to be trying to press and get that goal. I think that's a pretty good bet to me. That's over 2.5 shots on goal for Leon Draisaitl. And I'm going to get to those Florida players in just a second, but I do want to mention that I noticed Fanduel, they have better prices on nearly all of these Edmonton players. Like if you wanted to take Draisaitl for a point, or Hyman for a point, or Bouchard for a point, they're all listed at their best price on Fanduel. So you know what? If that's going to be the case, give me the guy with the most drastic difference. That ends up being Hyman. And then pair that with Bouchard. You take both of those guys for a point. That will put you in plus money. You're just looking for one of those power plays to connect. Or, 5-on-5, Hyman's playing with McDavid, and they always try to have Bouchard on the ice when McDavid's unit's out there as well. So give me Hyman and Bouchard for a point, And a little side deli slice of a parlay for you. Gustav Forsling, you know I love him. All right, he went over 1.5 shots in every single game. He had an 11-game over on shots on goal streak. We saw that come to an end. He was held to 1 shot. Now, I don't know, but Edmonton now, it's more than 1 round. This is going all the way back to Vancouver. Maybe it's not a scam, but their ability to suppress shots on goal. Look at the shot totals. Other than that Game 6 against Dallas, where Dallas's playoff lives were on the line and they were able to pepper Skinner and get everything on the net, look at before that. Look at nearly every game versus Vancouver, nearly every game versus Dallas. They're suppressing shots at a pretty great rate. So give me the under 2.5 for Gustav Forsling. Maybe he gets the 2, as long as it's not 2.5. Because remember, on Fanduel, you get that 60-minute bonus, meaning if he gets 2 shots but then gets the 3rd in overtime, this will actually clear for you. So Hyman and Bouchard for a point with the under 2.5 shots on goal for Gustav Forsling. But what about the Panthers side? Well, the first value I'm looking at, and I mentioned this on the Patreon before Game 1, a guy that I was very interested in, Gustav Forsling's doing great. He's the best all-around defender that the Panthers have to offer. Is he on the top power play? No. Is he the number 1 offensive option coming from the back end? No. That's still Brandon Montour. Brandon Montour is on the top power play unit. He got an assist in the first game. He is a good offensive defenseman, and we're getting his point prop at like plus 160, plus 165. I see no reason for that. Remember, this is a guy who was absolutely in the minus. After he came back from that injury, we took advantage of it as long as we could, and then he was minus 130, minus 140, minus 150, plus 160 for the top defenseman on the power play. Yeah, I think that's a great value. Give me the over on 0.5 point for Brandon Montour, and then those second liners once again provide great value. Evan Rodriguez, Sam Bennett. Both of them, Bennett's plus 120, Rodriguez around plus 150. These are things you can't say no to. They're playing with Tkachuk. They're playing really well. Bennett seemingly has points in like every single game. How many straight now? And Rodriguez, he's playing well on that line. I really think I'm going to go with it once again, except I'm not going to do an assist. Give me a point for Bennett, a point for Rodriguez. Maybe because I'm a glutton for punishment. Yes, the over 1.5 shots on goal for Evan Rodriguez. Same game parlay, because you got to fight for your right to parlay. And that's what I have for you here for this game too. One thing that I do want to mention, I talked about the guaranteed arbitrage bet. You take McDavid plus 250 for the Conn Smythe, and then you take minus 125 Panthers. You put a stack of money for every 20,000 you spend. You win 3,000 to 5,000 guaranteed. But if you were late to the party and you still want to do it along the way, whoever loses game 1, check the updated price. You can get Connor McDavid. It opened at plus 400 after game 1 concluded, but now he's plus 375 to win the Conn Smythe. So if you went heavy with your Panthers bets, you don't have to hedge it by taking Edmonton. You got McDavid plus 375. Now, Bouchard, he ain't breaking that coffee record, not with 0 points in game 1. So now I believe there are even fewer obstacles toward McDavid getting that Conn Smythe if the Oilers were to win the series. So that's something you can keep juggling along the way. You take that before this game. If Edmonton wins this game, you could take the Panthers for the series again, and you can find your way to that arbitrage doing the little juggle dance along the way. Anyway, that is what I have for you here on this Monday. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. We got I Hate Baseball coming up in a few hours after this is published. Hopefully I see you guys over there. Where do I really want to see you? The only reason I Hate Baseball is a show because of the fine people on the Patreon. But hopefully I will see you guys over there. That's where I throw some additional parlays in. That's where me and Josh are in the chats and people are exchanging different bets and all sorts of things. So hopefully I see you there. If not, I will see you later for I Hate Baseball. And then obviously we have Game 3 coming up in a couple of days. Subscribe to the channel. Enjoy all the sniffs. And I will talk to you later. Should I say good luck again? No, I've already said it.